We're going to continue our exploration of shading shapes to become 3D shapes. Here is a finished example of what we had done previously, the cube and the cylinder. And so this video will be about the sphere, taking a circle and shading it, rendering it with pencil to make it look 3D. So you will need your worksheet. Here is the circle that we're going to work on. So it just looks flat. It's a two-dimensional shape. But compare that to this. This looks like an actual ball. So your worksheet, 2B pencil, eraser, sharpener, and we're ready to begin. Keep your pencil nice and sharp. It does make a difference. It does help in your shading. So the first thing we want to look at is keeping a white spot here because the sun is coming down and hitting the ball right here. We call that a sphere. So the white spot, we're going to go the light halo around it. You can see a medium, a dark. We're going to leave this little sliver, this little crescent moon white at the bottom for reflected light. And then we will draw the cast shadow. So I'm going to start off by just kind of creating a halo very softly, very soft pressure. Oh, and by the way, I do have some scrap paper underneath my worksheet, so my tabletop, which is scratched and bumped, will not appear on my drawing. So just a light, soft kind of halo around that white spot. We're going to reserve that. And if, oops, you go in and you put some value there, it's erasable. So I'm going to start adding some more light. Side of the pencil, remember I'm holding it in this kind of grip where I dropped the pencil into my palm, close my fingers so I get a nice gentle grip. Some people think of themselves as heavy-handed and then they have trouble creating light tones. Well, your eraser can help. You'll notice I'm rendering with my pencil in a rounded direction, almost like a swing back and forth, and I'm not going straight across. Here's a visual to help explain the direction I'm going in. Because we want the sphere to look round, we need to create kind of almost like a smile. That's what I think of it as. So a rounded direction instead of a straight direction. Oh, here's my example of how not to do it. No, do not go straight across. You must have a rounded direction. This flattens it. We don't want a flat object, we want a round object. So I'm filling in with a light tone at least to halfway down my object. I could start here to start to put a little more pressure. Also, I don't want to confuse you in the video, but you could turn your paper in any direction, whatever makes sense. Lefty, righty. You could even turn it, honestly, you could turn it all the way upside down if this kind of arch direction is better for you. If that makes more sense, if that feels better. I often actually teach it this way because this motion is kind of easier than making the smile direction, in my opinion. So we have a nice rounded look. I'll turn it right side up. I got a little bit of a line here. That's okay. I'm reserving the bottom to be light for our reflected light. And that's the light that's coming down from the sun, hitting the table and bouncing up into the object. We have that here in our cube. We had it here in our cylinder. So we had to make sure it adds to the sphere as well. Okay, so now I want to think about going a little bit darker. So I want to keep this light part very, very light. Oh, a circular motion is also okay. You just don't want to go straight across and you don't want to have a tight grip right now. So I know that I want to go medium and then I want to get darker down here. So I'm going to press a little more down here at the bottom before it turns white. Turn your paper any way that makes sense. I'm keeping it straight just to make the tutorial and show you what to do. So I would like to turn my paper more, but I don't want to get any confusion. All right, I'm happy with that. If you feel, you can see how my lead here is getting dark. If you feel or hear like a scratching sensation, then that might be the wood part of your pencil touching the paper. So you may have to change your angle or sharpen your pencil. Went a little too far right here. Outside, clean that up. Okay, let's tackle the cast shadow. All right, so let's look at it. It goes from, you can see my reflected light, it's about from there to there. And it's a long, low, flat oval. It's not very tall from top to bottom, but it is pretty wide. So first I'll just sketch it. Just see what happens when I just kind of little more pointed almost at the ends. All right. Because the light is right above, that is why this looks so flat and right below it. If the sun was in a different position, then the shadow might be to the right or to the left, but it simply is right underneath, so that's where we're going to put it. All right, I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with what yours looks like, try again. You can erase it as long as you drew lightly and give it another shot. This is going to be the darkest place on the whole object. So right here, you can see no light is getting to this area. So this shadow is going to be as dark as I can make it, which means I am going to change my grip to how I would write my name. So I'm pressing pretty hard because I do want this to be dark. Taking your time filling it in. We're not just scribbling, rushing to get it done. And you could fade out a little more farther away from the sphere. So along here, you could kind of fade it out a little bit. Mine's pretty dark, but you could kind of fade a little bit down here like this. All right, I don't like that point. There we go. All right, pretty smooth. No white spots where there should be dark, no dark spots where there should be light. And yeah, get this a little flatter right there. Okay, so I pause. I think it's done, but I pause and take just an inventory of what I've done. So do I have a light spot? Yes. A white spot, I should say. Do I have a light kind of halo around it? Yes, I'm just fixing it up. Okay, and then does my value start to get a little bit darker? Do I have a rounded direction instead of straight? Yes. I'm going to go a little bit darker down here at the bottom. And then I want to be sure to keep that reflected light at the bottom nice and bright. In the past, if you've done something like this before, you may have been taught to blend either with a blending stump, which is a roll made of paper, or perhaps even with your finger. For this lesson, I would like to avoid that, only because I want to teach you pure shading. So without using any blending tools or your finger to shade and blend, I'm skipping that for now because I wanted just to teach you pure shading without the use of any blending tools. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. We've got white spot, light halo, medium, dark, reflected light, and the cast shadow. Okay. So good luck on your shading. Hope it goes well. See you soon.